hero needed to stay warm, is so afraid of my affections. You could drown in your own storm. There's no need for reservation. No one else can see. After some examination, man, I think that you've got what I need. It's really alright. It's really alright. It's really alright if you don't love me. What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, that cold-hearted landscape or me? What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, a cold-hearted landscape or me? Okay, we are back with part 2. We're doing some assembly, tacking my lining down here. That's not the right word for it, but I can't think of it at the moment. Kind of like making a hem. I'm trying to just keep it in place with a little bit of tacking down, so I can continue to felt it into place. We'll most likely be finishing it off with green. But we're very crooked there. Definitely have to roll that over. Well, let's get the corners right first. Just wait, don't overdo it. Definitely have a weak spot right there. So I'm going to strengthen that. by needle felting a little bit more wool in. Actually, I don't need to do that now because, like I said, I'm going to be doing green, and I'll be needle felting the handle in, actually the strap, which is going to be a vine. Oh, it's a flower. Okay, let's do this side here. Now I decided against making a flap. I may, in the end, place a button. If I can find a cute enough button. I might have to make one out of felt. Now, much like my second purse with the wide strap going partially under it, the body of the purse for strength, the vine is going to go at the bottom, and the bottom heavily disguised with leaves. At least that's the plan. We'll see. I might find myself getting impatient to finish the project at some point and cut out some of the leaves in my mind. Some stuff I'm not sure of until I'm working it, and then I go, oh, you know, that's not as nice as I thought it'd be, so we're just going to rip that out or have a do-over. Now the green I need to use is not here yet, so we will definitely not be finishing this today. Also, if things are still a little damp, I haven't done the final conditioning to the wool. Oh. But the colors came out a lot, very much like what I wanted, so I'm happy with that. Got some color fade going on. Okay. And now it's time to make some decisions. Man, that's wild without even putting anything else on it. And now it has me thinking, I kind of like that wild edge. Instead of the defined petals, we can make the defined petals the center of the flower. All right. Well, we're gonna have to let this continue to dry, but in the meantime, we have work to do on these. Uh-oh. Well, damn. I forgot which one I used. I think it was this one. Ooh. I've got this weird stuff. It's a much coarser wool. The colors are kind of wild. Metallic. All right, let's break this up. We're doing 6 petals on each. Let's get laid out there. You stay there for a minute. don't want to put down too much. I'm going to need some for here too. All right, well, let's see what we've got here. It's my #1 safety measure for high-speed needling. Tweezers. Now, I could put on these little leather cots or finger condoms, but sometimes they're just a little too clumsy. But you have to keep your finger away from this very sharp barbed needle because it's made to go into things and drag things out as it gets pulled out. You don't want to do that to the inside of your finger. It's kind of like getting a fish hook stuck in your finger. As this gets needle felted up the center, it's going to help it bend later. I'm shaping the leaf, the petal, not leaf. I should get this right. Leaves will come later. Luckily, this has a very long staple. The length of the fiber is very long, and it does make it a little trickier separating them, but on the other hand, it's really handy for doing lines of color. You just hold on to it and stretch it out. It's already getting a bit of a curl there. Yay. Okay, let's get that fastened down. It will bounce around if you don't hold it. Oh, forgot. If I want to know what you're saying, I should have the chat around. So there it is. Kind of. That color is very pale, isn't it? Well, we'll get this fastened down and maybe add a little more. It looks like a couple spots might want more. Okay. to you. It is such a pretty color, it'd be a shame if it isn't seen. Look how frail that color is. Fatten you up. Let's add you to that side. Tack you down right there. I think we're gonna clip you because you're just a little much. Yeah, you definitely need help there. Just a little too invisible. Yep. I doubled that back. So you tap that down. work. Now we're going to get a nice curl to these. Yep. And tuck that in a little. Okay, this, oh, get back. We're going to want a different pink. Oh, just there we go. I need more tea. Oh, I really am going to just have to bite the bullet and go get my nails done by a professional. So that because the edges of my fingers are grabbing onto this like chapped hands. Yeah. There's too much when there's not enough. I guess that. No. Okay, and we need, this could be cool. Very different yarn. I mean, well, it's already been carded in multiple colors, with multiple colors. Yeah, it's really cool. It's got purple in it, and yellow, white. It's pretty cool. It was free. It was actually packing material for other yarn supplies. Okay, let's get this all out of the way for the moment. Whee. You too? Now this is going to add a lot more bulk to the whole project, which is desirable because it's going to look cool. has to be attached well enough, of course. But I don't want to over felt it, or I'll lose all the texture. And it's going over this one, so the petals below it should be darker, and then the bottom darker still. So I think we've got it. Now in this petal, this yellow is just a reminder where the center is, where it's going to be attached to the other pieces. So I don't accidentally overfelt it. Now we've got a little tail here. We don't need that. Where's that? Actually, I can use just a dab at the end here. I'll have to turn it from both ends. Hello. Now before I felt these together to make one unit, I'm going to probably wet felt a little bit further just for the centers so I can get them to lay flatter. Again, maybe not. I kind of like all the different textures. That's one of the fun things about felting. You could do 2 and 3D. Now I saw a really unusual way to do a center, but I didn't have time to really study it, so I'm going to have to go look it up again. I think you lay out your wool all in one direction and then just on the bottom half of it the other direction, so you've got something to felt on, and then you felt it, and then you kind of squiggle up little, well, you felt little like little caterpillars, and then you roll it all up and you end up with a ball of caterpillars. That is fine for the center, so I like that idea. Now we'll see. It being a purse, I might not want that much dangling stuff. Spread out a little more. Thank you. Okay, now you're good. Yes, I'm talking to my felt. Okay. Okay. We have that yellow coming through, which means we're contact. Oh. Starting to feel it in my neck. But we're not done. I'm just going to go grab a pill. Because look at this. This is just too damn cool. Alright, so for this, oh, what are we going to use? I've got to get a picture of this. Hold on. After all, I have to remember what I'm doing here. We're going to move this over. Yes, I can't really do anything more on this until it's completely dry. And I need the green wool that I ordered to get in, which should be this week, I hope. I could throw in some other ooh. We've got the pink outer edges. We've got let me just see what I think. It's such a pale color. I don't know. Maybe dark. What if we went just a little more courageous? We don't really have strong contrast anywhere, but this could be too much. Oh, I'm torn. We've got plenty of that. We've got the yellow, maybe some little squiggles of purple. does add a little bit more dimension, doesn't it? But then there's nothing in here. I probably will have to put some purple in here. You know what? We're going to go for it. The design needs contrast besides the upcoming leaves and vine. Ooh. I have some amazing synthetic decorative wool. It's green and meant to go into a green, earthy, bohemian-like scarf. But it doesn't mean, you know, we can't do other things too. Okay. This is so wispy. Its only hope of survival is being attached to the body of the purse. Oops. That's he. These fragile ends might end up getting cut at some point, but I'm hoping I can preserve as much as possible, because it's just, it shows one of the coolest things about felting, just how delicate it can get. And one more. Yep. Behave yourself. Yep, so it's starting to pick up some of this foam. We don't need the foam. All right, let's see. Oh, this is going to be cute. All right. Well, I can't go any further without having the proper green wool, which is on the way, but I don't know when it's going to be here. Once I've got the green wool, I can do the outline, make the vine, and then attach this, because the leafy parts have to go down first. And then we will decide which avant-garde way we want to display the first layer of the flower, and how we are going to felt it and give it a little bit more structure. This is so fun. Yep, I'm going to take another picture. Hi, Trinity. Welcome back. I'm excited. It's coming on. Check it out. This is the bottom layer with all the lacy edges. Here's the purse, the front, the back. I was going to bring more lavender into it and then change my mind. I ran out, but that's what's coming up behind the reds and the peach. So I'm waiting to get my green wool. I have moss and ivy greens on the way. And when I have the green wool, I will be doing the border here, making a vine for a strap, and that's going to run around the bottom of it, so I don't want to have to make a closure. I want this just to be like a large pocket, but if it turns out it's too clumsy, then I'll probably put a button in, or I'll make a loop for a button. I don't have to decide that until after everything is done. So this will go here, floofed up and tacked into this will be part of it, and then this will become part of that. Ta-da! So I'm happy. How is your afternoon gone? Let's see, we're not going to need some of this. And I can put these in their respective valises. Not you. You, and you. Oh, and you. And this strange stuff that I might be able to use this as part of the core for my viney purse strap. I might stick just to green. Okay, let's get some of this stuff stashed. Now I should not need any more of the rose, but if I do, I'll know where it is. Meantime, I'd like to protect it all from my clumsiness. I say occasional clumsiness. See, some I only have little bits of it of the one color like that, and that's why I finally gave up buying samples, which is eventually what you get when you get kits, and started ordering them by the ounce. Although my white roving, or I say natural colored roving, I buy by the pound now. Like this red. I forget how much that weighs. More than an ounce, less than a pound. I never dreamed I would become so obsessed with this. Partly research for my third book, but mostly because it's just so fun. It's just sucked me right in. Now I do have some greens, but I don't know how well they're going to match what I just bought. Now this is the coolest stuff I have. This is my new collection. Aw. Go over there for now. Now, I don't dare buy any more until I've used some of this up significantly, because this is starting to actually weigh. I got some very exotic, unusual synthetic yarns. I made a purse with 2 of them so far. The first one I showed you, I made with this yarn. Look at how many strands are actually in one strand of this yarn. And then my second one was this, but I took out the silvery, the gold sparkly stuff and just worked with that. I saved all the gold stuff for another project. This one I got to go with some llama wool that I bought. Check that out, isn't that fun? It's just so bohemian. Little tassels and hair, and this is so feathery right there. It's just so delicate and so soft. I do not know how people would actually knit with this, because I see knots and tangles, and yeah, this would make my life living hell, I think, if I was trying to do that. And these are the other ones I got. Can't you just imagine a kid's scarf? I can't even tell you how soft this is. It's like fairy dust. I don't know. And it's got so many different threads in one. So yeah, I had to invest because it's just too cool and too fun. And look at these. This is like lighter than air, and that's kind of what it feels like. Now you can see this is all synthetic, which is kind of good because that makes all of this stuff, the static electricity in the air just makes this go woo. But check this out. I'm just dying to use these. It just feels like silk. There probably is some silk in this. But silk does not felt either. I have silk yarn here. This is yarn. It's silk. I used it in my first purse. And no, I used this in a little bag I made for my great niece. It's very soft, but it's yarn already. It's been spun. So it's silk. I got it to help me repair that 100-year-old scarf I have. This is very just cheerful. It's not as elaborate as the others, but gorgeous. Same with this, the rainbow. It's just a few strands, or in this case 2 it looks like. But both of them are separately dyed. And together they just make some gorgeous combinations. So yeah, I am so looking forward to making things with this. These other wools, like my sister gave me these, and these are real wool. That's real wool, although I think it's a cotton wool. And this will eventually felt without having to be anchored, but I had a friend try some, and in a short session it was not working. But it's really cool because it's got very satiny fibers in it, which won't felt. Those do have to be fastened down with other wool. The rest of these are all just synthetics for getting texture in doing, well, basically painting with wool. Like, check that fuzzy buddy out. It feels like a dog toy. It does not felt. And then my sister gave me some of this. I don't know what she made with it, but it's bizarre as hell. It's like chenille, but it's all different sizes. You know, it's like, oh, well, that's interesting. So I thought this would be pretty cool if I can incorporate that into another project, probably an art piece. But then again, I'm not making art pieces the way I do acrylic paintings or watercolors, because I want all of this stuff to be wearable. Like, I want to really get my money's worth. I want to expand my wardrobe in fanciful, artful ways. And so that's what all this is about. Not a see how wild I can get, but see how original I can get. And still be able to wear it. Here, this is something I bought this month in person. Matter of fact, I went to Mystic, Connecticut. My sister and I went out to lunch, and to the Mystic yarn shop. I made an appointment to go to the shop. And I bought my first, and right now only, llama. This is llama fur. If I open it up, it looks like a wig sitting in here. But it is a really deep chocolatey brown with a medium brown highlight. And it looks just like I cut my hair off, except it's way softer than human hair. It's really, really silky. And it will wet felt, but it takes a lot more work because it doesn't have the spring or the texture or the memory that wool yarn has. So this is going to be mixed with the right color yarn when I can buy that. I was looking for that with my first order, but they were back ordered. All the really dark chocolatey colors. But I got the medium ones. I was thinking purse. This is coffee and light coffee, although I don't see any connection. And I forget. They don't mark these very well. The stuff on it just shows where it came from. Apparently, these sheep were in Ireland when they donated their fur, wool. I'm so looking forward to working with that. Okay. So it's 5 o'clock, and I think it's time to go. Thank you for checking in. Whoops. I have a busy week ahead, but I will be here because as soon as that yarn, the wool comes in the colors I need to finish this, we're going to be on that. Also, I want to make a purse for this flower, which was not the intention when I made the flower. The flower was just to see if I could make a flower, and I did better than I expected. So that gave me the courage to go ahead and work with more wool. But now I love these colors, and it looks like it really goes well with what I'm wearing. So I'm going to have to make it back because it's not going to stay in my hair. My hair is too wild and crazy. So I'll be back tomorrow. Definitely before 3. I have to bake a cake tomorrow, and I have to be done with it by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But I will be back sometime on Tuesday for whatever I miss tomorrow. Have a great week.